So imagine a town where the doors to democracy are literally locked, where the halls of power are shrouded in secrecy and the voices of the people are stifled. Welcome to Thornton Township, a community caught in the grip of controversy under the leadership of Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. But one citizen won't be denied, and his relentless fight for justice has escalated the battle against the alleged conduct of the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard, to the governor's office. Now, his weapon? An open letter to Governor J.B. Pritzker. Now, hopefully, I'm pronouncing the governor's last name correctly. I'm not from Illinois. I live in Florida. And you guys know this is the South, right? Not the deep South, but the South nonetheless. And sometimes our letters don't always come out like the Northerners. However, he has outlined his grave concerns and detailed the alleged series of ongoing misappropriation of funds, obstruction of justice, and a lack of transparency in financial dealings. And so the letter was submitted by Paul Roberts with a Z on the end. And here's what he had to say: who is no stranger to the township and who, as you can see, won't be giving up anytime soon. Now, by involving the governor, the resident aims to draw state level attention to the issues that have been overlooked on the local level. Now, this move signifies a significant step from local complaints and actions to seeking a broader governmental intervention, reflecting the severity of the issues and the residents' determination to seek accountability and reform at the highest level of state government. Now, I won't read the entire letter, but I will link it down in the description box for your edification and enrichment. And the letter says, Dear Governor, or in Caprara, the Chief of Staff, I reside in Lansing, Illinois, within the Thornton Township. For the last year, I have spent a good portion of my time watching Tiffany Henyard, the township's unqualified supervisor and the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and I will assume that you are aware of many of her crimes. And he lists the allegations of her crimes. And of course, this is nothing new, but it's very important for him to get this information and document this attempt to reach higher authority within the state of Illinois. Okay, so many of her crimes, including misappropriation of funds, obstruction of justice regarding alleged murders by her police force, that's deep, co-mingling of funds between Dolton and Thornton Township, locking residents and trustees out of village halls. Now, guys, we know that happens. Denying the press and the public entry to township board meetings, using public funds for campaign materials, hiding financial records and proposed budgets, etc. Then he goes on to say that there's a large number of lawsuits against the super mayor, the Village of Dolton, and Thornton Township, and resulting judgments or settlements are a huge strain on resources, yet the public and the trustees remain in the dark as to the amounts of the deficits. He goes on to say that he will assume that the governor is already aware that the Village of Dolton no longer makes payments for their employees' health insurance or pension funds. So now the super mayor looks towards the township to fund an increasing number of parties in an attempt to distract the gullible. I agree with that. He says that she prevents trustees in Dolton and in Thornton Township from placing any items on the board meeting agenda, and he would be happy to clarify any questions that the governor may have about her crimes she is alleged to have committed. However, that is not the purpose, he says, of his letter. In essence, he goes on to say that as a resident, he's basically just tired of making public comments at board meetings, which never lead to any action by Henyard's administration. And in essence, he's escalating this to the governor's office to tell him, now these are my words, not Mr. Roberts' words, to get off your behind and come and intervene and do something about this. This has been going on forever. Snap out of it, Governor, and let's get some action going here. Those are my words, guys, but not his. I'm going to link the letter in the description box so that you can look at it in its entirety. Now, well, of course, we'll see what happens now. If you think about it, the governor has to be aware of these allegations. It's complete political chaos, and it has been for a few years now. And she's up for re-election in early 2025. So if Mr. Governor doesn't hurry, she just might get re-elected. You never know with people these days, guys. I promise you. Remember, there was a mayor in Illinois. I can't remember exactly what city, but he actually was convicted of, extortion, I guess it was, but definitely some form of corruption. Went and did some time. I believe they gave him 9 years, but he actually served about 7 of those years. I may not have the exact years correctly, but he did serve most of his time, came back to that city, ran for mayor, and won. So you never know with people. People have, these identity politics where they just need to identify with this candidate, and that person can manipulate their emotions, which is what Mr. Roberts was indicating and outlining in his letter. It's so true. It's easy to manipulate gullible people, the elderly or people that may not be as educated on, some things that they do in politics, and they just take them at the word. So I agree with him. So guys, we'll see what happens, and if this letter will garner any serious attention from the governor's office. Now, honestly, the governor has had more than enough time to bring the hammer down on the mayor's administration, and now he better hurry because early 2025 is just around the corner. As usual, guys, thank you for tuning in to Southern Confidential. And for more commentary on this developing story, don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you next time.